Retail workers. What's a thing a customer said or did that made you cry? I was working at Target during my junior year of college, mostly to help pay for textbooks and groceries. It was December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, and the store was absolutely insane. Lines wrapped around to the electronics section, kids screaming, parents arguing over the last, whatever, toy was popular that year. I'd been on register 7 for about 6 hours straight with only a 15-minute break. My feet were killing me. My voice was hoarse from saying, "Did you find everything okay?" 1,000 times. And I had this pounding headache from the fluorescent lights and constant beeping of scanners. This elderly woman, maybe in her 70s, shuffled up to my register around 8 p.m. She was tiny, probably barely 5 feet tall, wearing this worn wool coat that looked like it was from the 80s. Her name was Dorothy. I remember because she told me later. She had this beat-up canvas bag full of Christmas presents. She started pulling out item after item. A little pink dress, size 4T, a toy truck, some books, a sweater, kids' socks with cartoon characters on them. Everything still had tags, everything looked carefully chosen. I'm scanning through, thinking it's going to be a big sale, maybe $200 worth of stuff. Then she pulls out this crumpled receipt and says in this shaky voice, "I need to return all of this, sweetie." I look at the receipt. Everything was purchased 3 days ago. All returnable, no problem there. But something about the way she said it made me pause. "Is everything okay with the items, ma'am?" I asked, going into my customer service script. She just stood there for a moment, staring down at the little pink dress in her hands. Then she looked up at me with these watery blue eyes and said, "My grandbaby. She was supposed to come for Christmas. My daughter called yesterday, said they're not coming. Too expensive to fly," she said. I started processing the returns, scanning each item. Dorothy kept talking, mostly to herself. "I've been planning this Christmas for months," she whispered. "Got the guest room already. Bought her favorite cereal. Even got one of those bouncy castles for the backyard." She laughed, but it came out all wrong. A bouncy castle. For a 4-year-old I see maybe once a year. I'm trying to stay professional, but my throat started getting tight. The store was still chaos around us. People pushing past, kids having meltdowns, that awful Christmas music on repeat. But it felt like Dorothy and I were in this little bubble of sadness. "She lives in Oregon now," Dorothy continued, holding up the toy truck. "My son-in-law got a job out there last year. I understand, really I do, but I bought all this stuff and I kept imagining her face on Christmas morning. The receipt printer was taking forever. Those old thermal printers always jammed when you needed them most." Dorothy didn't seem to notice. She was just standing there, occasionally touching one of the items like she was saying goodbye to it. "You know what the worst part is?" she said, looking right at me. "I don't even know what size she wears anymore." I had to guess. 4-year-olds grow so fast. She held up the little dress again. This might not have even fit her. That's when I completely lost it. Just started crying right there at register 7 in the middle of the Christmas rush. Not just tearing up, full-on sobbing. I tried to turn away, but Dorothy saw. She reached across the counter and patted my hand with her tiny cold fingers. "Oh, honey, don't cry for me. I'm okay, really." Which just made me cry harder, because here was this woman who was clearly heartbroken, comforting me while I processed her returned Christmas dreams. My supervisor, Marcus, came over, probably thinking there was some kind of problem with the transaction. He took one look at both of us crying and just quietly finished the return himself. Dorothy gathered up her receipt, leaving all those carefully chosen presents on my counter to be restocked. Before she left, she squeezed my hand and said, "You remind me of my grandbaby's mama at your age. You're going to be just fine, sweetie." I watched her walk away through the automatic doors, disappearing into the dark parking lot with her empty canvas bag. I still think about Dorothy every Christmas, even